This map was made by Serb enemies. It's another version of how they would divide Serbia. The map shows some exotic new countries like Torlakia. Serb enemies usually like to give this part of Serbia to Bulgaria. It's interesting how sovereignty and territorial integrity stop mattering when it comes to Serbia. The same people cry over Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity. By the way, that's not Romanian flag. What is Torlakia? It's a complicated story, and I should start with ethnic map of Serbia. We shall focus on Eastern Serbia. People living in Eastern Serbia self-declare as Serbs. Serbian towns Bosilegrad and Dimitrovgrad have huge Bulgarian populations, which is not surprising considering they are right next to the border between Serbia and Bulgaria. Over the centuries, borders often changed. People living in Eastern Serbia speak Torlakian dialect. There are 4 theories about Torlakian. Torlakian is dialect of Serbian, Torlakian is dialect of Bulgarian, Torlakian is dialect of Macedonian, Torlakian is separate language. Torlakian is not standardized, and its subdialects vary significantly in some features. Yugoslav linguists traditionally classified it as an Old Shtokavian dialect or as a 4th supradialect of Serbo-Croatian, along with Shtokavian, Chokavian, and Kajkavian. Bulgarian scholars classify it as a Western Bulgarian dialect, in which case it is referred to as a transitional Bulgarian dialect. According to UNESCO's list of endangered languages, Torlakian is a vulnerable distinct language. Torlakian is going to disappear. Fewer and fewer people speak Torlakian. Torlakian speakers in Serbia use more and more words from standardized Serbian thanks to TV and radio. This is map of Torlakian speakers. Speakers of Torlakian in Serbia declare as either Serbs or Gorani. Gorani are Slavic Muslims. It is estimated that 20,000 Gorani live in the Balkans. They originate from area called Gora in province Kosovo. Albanians claim that Gorani are Slavicized Albanians. Bosnian Muslims claim that Gorani are in fact Bosnian Muslims. To be fair, far-right Serbs claim that all Slavs have Serb origin, since Serbs were original Slavic tribe. As far as I know, there has been no DNA testing done on Gorani, so their origin is unconfirmed. The bigger mystery is why would Croats living in Romania speak Torlakian? They are called Karšovani. Prizren Timok dialect is spoken in Serbia. It's named after town Prizren and river Timok. Eastern Serbia is often called Timočka Krajina. Timočka Krajina, Timok borderland. Transitional Bulgarian dialects are spoken by Bulgarians. Kumanovo dialect is spoken by Macedonians. Kumanovo is a town in North Macedonia. Gora dialect is spoken by Gorani. Krašovani dialect is spoken by Croats living in Romania. Were there ever people called Torlaks? Not a separate ethnic group. The 19th century Serb linguist Vuk Karadžić defined Torlak as a man who doesn't well speak Serbian or Bulgarian language. Another scholar, Dejan Krstić, claimed the term Torlak referred to bilingual Vlachs living in Timok area. I have to notice that Torlak rhymes with Morlak. And Morlak is derogatory name for Vlachs in Croatia. There is a theory that name Torlak comes from word Tor, which means sheepfold. Vlachs were famous for being shepherds. It would be logical to call them Torlak after sheepfold. The name Torlak appears among toponyms in Serbia. One hill in Belgrade is called Torlak. There is also Institute Torlak that makes serums and vaccines in Belgrade. Now, some wonder what would have happened if Torlakian speakers developed their own national identity. I'm glad they didn't, because we really don't need more ethnic groups and subgroups. Can a speaker of standardized Serbian understand Torlakian? Yes. It sounds like archaic and hillbilly version of Serbian. Basic Torlakian vocabulary shares most of its Slavic roots with Bulgarian, Macedonian, and Serbian, but also over time borrowed a number of words from Aromanian, Greek, Turkish, and Albanian in the Gora region of the Shar Mountains. It also preserved many words which in the major languages became archaisms or changed meaning. Like other features, vocabulary is inconsistent across subdialects. For example, a Krashovan does not necessarily understand a Goranac. Goranac is another name for Gorani. The varieties spoken in the Slavic countries have been heavily influenced by the standardized national languages, particularly when a new word or concept was introduced. Torlakian speakers are notorious for dropping letter H from words. Dropping H can be found in Serbian slang. Word hleb, English bread, becomes leb and morphs into lebac. In formal occasions, person would say hleb, but in everyday speech they might say lebac. Non-Serb scholars claim that concerning grammar, Torlakian has more similarities with Bulgarian and Macedonian. Bulgarian and Macedonian are the only two Slavic languages that lost entire noun case system. This is partially true for Torlakian. Other similarities are loss of most grammatical cases, loss of infinitive, full retention of the aorist and the imperfect, use of definitive article. Preservation of final L, in Serbian developed to O. Use of što pronoun, meaning what, Serbs use šta pronoun. Fun fact, Serbs use što as shortened version of zašto, English why. Far-right Serbs believe that Torlakian dialect is purest form of Serbian language. They hate the 19th century linguist Vuk Karadžić, who standardized Serbian language. Conspiracy theory says that Habsburgs wanted to take Serbia, and thus they hired Vuk to change the language. They wanted to bring Serbian and Croatian languages closer. Then they would force Serbs to convert to Catholicism and brainwash them to believe themselves to be Croats. Serbian scholars reject this conspiracy theory. Vuk was born in village Tršić, Serbia, near border with Croatia. He spoke Serbian dialect closest to languages spoken in Croatia and Bosnia. Vuk decided to standardize Serbian language based on his childhood dialect. However, he could have chosen Torlakian dialect instead. We can speculate what impact this would have had on creating Yugoslavia. Common language that shall not be named was one of the reasons why politicians and academics believed Yugoslavia was feasible. What do I think? I strongly believe that all Balkan unions, federations and confederations would be doomed to fail. All Balkan nations are dominant and want to be in charge. This has nothing to do with language. Redrawing maps in the Balkans would only lead to new wars. There is no Torlakian separatist movement, and people don't self-declare as Torlaks.